Hello, people. Welcome to the Daxago Playbook Show, where every month we talk about ways you can level up your sales game with AI while keeping it human. It's a pleasure and an honor to have Kate Vasilenko, CEO of 42DM, here with me today. Thank you so much, Kate.
Thank you so much for having me, Augusta. It's a great pleasure to share some of our ideas on how AI can help both sales and marketing teams today. And hello again, my name is Kate Vasilenko. I'm CEO and co-founder of 42DM, a full-service B2B marketing agency for tech companies. I've been in this business for more than 2 decades, so for a long time, and I've worked with some of the most amazing tech brands on the planet Earth, like Samsung, Visa, Microsoft. But for the last 12 years, I've been helping over 250 B2B tech companies, from early stage startups to seasoned, very leading B2B tech enterprises, go from we have a product to we actually have the pipeline. And that is what we are focusing at 42DM. And we were early adopters of AI across all of our service branches, like demand generation, account-based marketing, our tech operations, and inbound. And most recently, we are very deep into AI search visibility and optimization. AI is not only changing the way we work, but also the way we do the research and select the new solutions to purchase, like Dextago, for example. So I'm excited to gather today to share how we're using GenAI. And also, quick note and full disclosure, today's podcast, I've been preparing my notes together with Dextago. So let's start.
That's awesome. Thank you so much again, Kate. We have a few questions here for us to go through. And the first one is, how do you see Gen AI transforming the relationship between sales and marketing teams, from the last year?
That's a very good question. I would say that finally we are starting to break the wall between sales and marketing because Gen AI and AI in general is helping us to avoid this silos around both of the teams and keep us both on track and help us share the knowledge, share this context. And that's probably the most important thing, and actually be aligned. So we notice a huge shift across multiple activities that are happening within the marketing and sales department. Like, for example, much better strategizing, if done right, if actually done, because a lot of companies are skipping the strategizing thing. But if done right, strategize and research customer pain points, new markets, and behavioral opportunities, like the way to identify the companies that having your use case. Those things untapped drastically comparing to the way it was like 2 years ago. Build smart target account lists. That is amazing thing. We all been focusing on firmographics solely without, or then we had this evolution, amazing evolution of right now everybody is thinking int, but what does intent even mean? If it means like intent in terms of sixth sense, just people who are reading the content about ABM, that doesn't mean they will be buying ABM. They need to have a specific problem and specific use case, specific team, like a resource allocation within the team in order to be a good fit for some company. So all of that, like contextual based targeting and contextual based selection and segmentation of the market, become possible with the generative AI. Align messaging. Again, sales and marketing, we're talking very different talks to the customers. And if used right, Gen AI actually helps to align both teams across the messaging they want to share with the users. Trigger omni-channel workflows. Amazing. You can now, based on behavior, trigger really customized and personalized workflows. And of course, and the most important, provide rich context for sales team, including all the engagement, all the internal situation, or all the intelligence that is possible to get from open data and beyond in order for the sales team to build better relations. So yeah, we noticed a lot of great changes that we are very inspired of, and we are building on top of that some really great campaigns.
Wow, that is so insightful. Thank you so much. And that brings me to another question. That is, what are some effective ways marketers can leverage AI to support sales efforts for people with first, low-level knowledge, second, medium-level knowledge, and third, pro-level knowledge?
That is a good question. Okay, with beginners, let's talk about the beginners. Probably the beginners will stick to some familiar tools like ChatGPT. But even the ChatGPT as it is right now, we can make it better fit for the specific industry or specific use case. So if have the custom GPT trained for your product, your messaging, and objections that you have within your sales team and how to handle them properly. Both marketing and sales can utilize that hugely and heavily and should utilize that. And that will enable junior reps to write better prompts, to write better intros, and to build better relations. Intermediate level, that is when we can start thinking context and use cases. So not thinking only personalization on the content level, but also start thinking how we pick up the better lists, how we focus better, how we understand those customers that we want to target better, be a good fit for them, starting from the first click and starting from the first impression. So building those smarter segments was very, very intense data collection and insights like gathering before the Gen AI. Right now, you can do that with Clay, you can do that with Apollo, you can do that with Loi. You can go beyond the firmographics, identify the use cases that really fit your product, and your product really solve the pain that the customer has, and find those customers who have those pains based on who they want to target, who they want to hire, what kind of use cases they want to solve, even if they hire the engineers, and so much more. So those opportunities are amazing. You can feed these insights into CRM or your outreach tools, and you can build the personalization from that. This is not hard workflows. Again, you can utilize Clay or any other like Apollo for this kind of like intermediate level of the usage of Gen AI tools. And of course, like the thing that everybody loves right now are B2B. You can identify the warm leads and you can personalize that message for them on the top-notch level. And this is something everybody loves and utilize right now. So all for intermediate level, a perfect fit. When we are thinking advanced, again, we will be talking today more about account-based advertising use case. With advanced usage of Gen AI tools, you can actually orchestrate the whole ABM programs, starting from building the smart target account list, warm the accounts with LinkedIn thought leadership, built from modular content libraries, personalized. You can enable your sales team to become trusted voices across LinkedIn. And that is incredible actual use case, very underutilized by the teams right now, because our sales reps, for them to open the window or to open the door with the opportunity, they need to have this trusted voice. Before that, they should have been like putting a lot of efforts into building this trust. But marketers right now can help them with the proper content libraries, with the guidelines, with the tools. They can help them spend 20 minutes a day and have amazing trusted voice. And from one side, from another side, marketers also can help them build the visibility with the right prospects of this trusted content. And that is when we are touching to contact-based advertising in ABM. Also AI-enabled. It is possible only if like AI technologies are integrated within the tools, but it is an amazing opportunity. If you are targeting, I don't know, 2,000 of HRDers in B2B tech companies, and you want for them to see the specific content that is solving their specific pain, and you know those people by name, you can set up the campaigns with your amazing content that you prepared for this industry, and they will be seeing it, and you will be seeing what they've seen, and you will getting the signals and scoring based on that. And then when they appear on your website, you can identify them with all the tools possible, like Airbnb or Trigify, and that is like an amazing wheel that is feeding itself.
That's
And
amazing.
based on that, then you are just gathering the additional context, feeding that to the sales team, and helping them building those really personal, rich, and deep, nuanced relations that they willing to build.
That's great. That's great. Thank you so much for being so detailed. And that brings me to another question. That is, can you share an example of a recent successful AI-driven marketing campaign that directly impacted your own sales performance?
Okay, I would not talk about myself as an agency. I would prefer to talk about my customers.
Perfect.
One of our clients, a custom software development company, they came to us this winter and they wanted to target mid-sized retail tech firms ahead of major industry conference. So they had a strong success story around building AI-powered POS system and asked us to help find the right opportunities for this specific success story. Very narrow niche, very narrow use case. And make sure that those companies will see the content, will get engaged, and we can build the relations on top of that. So what we've done, we combined AI-driven targeting with the trust-first messaging to break through the noise and create meaningful engagements. We used AI-driven context analysis, actually analyzed the whole bunch of the mid-sized retail tech companies to identify who of them plan or are already advancing their POS system based on the vacancies that they are posting and the descriptions of the depth, job descriptions of their depth. So with that, we identified 300 companies that likely to have those use case. And then we started the campaigning. We built personalized messaging. We put the content, thought leadership strategy for not the sales reps, but for the consultants who actually implemented this success story. And we made them visible for the decision makers within those companies with this personalized contact-based advertising system. And after they seen the ads, we pushed very personalized outreach messages. At the end of the day, we got 5 qualified opportunities out of 300
Wow.
in
That is
4
so
weeks.
nice.
And before they got opportunities before they even went to the conference. So yeah, it was a nice story, with all of this playbook put together and showing how it works.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's a great story. And when you can put an actual example of clients, making it happen, and even before the conference, that is amazing. You already are going to with something in mind and how we can actually help people out. What common pitfalls should companies avoid when implementing AI in their sales and marketing strategies?
That's a good one. I would say everybody's starting with tools. And this is probably one of the biggest mistakes we see, that companies are buying bunch of tools, but they do not have use cases for that. The people are not trained, the people are not aligned, and it leads only to bigger misalignment comparing to what it was before those tools were in place. Start with strategy first. Think where AI really fits and augments, not just automate, and then think the tools. Execution without the context. A lot of tools can provide us amazing agent capabilities. Do whatever on scale. But if this execution happens without deep and rich context, it leads to generic outcomes. The same as generic prompt leads to generic outcome. And probably one of the most seen across the companies we've been talking to, it's lack of CRM GTM integration. There's so much of the context that a lot of that context is missed because the tools are not talking to each other properly.
Yes.
So those are the most common pitfalls we see. And in order to avoid them, I would recommend map your buyer's journey, layer AI where it actually amplifies, not just automates, and then sync the tools and the systems that will help the information to be properly transferred in the points where it is needed.
Wow, that is so great. That is something that always gets me thinking, you know, how can you actually differentiate things and avoid these common pitfalls, not being able to connect data and get the whole context. That's super dangerous, right? And actually gets me thinking about something that we always talk here in Dax2Go, that is about how can you implement AI while keeping it human. And that brings me to another question, that is, how do you balance automation and the human touch? in marketing to support sales efforts?
For that, I would say you cannot automate trust. Trust is something that is earned, and it is earned by the human. You can automate targeting, you can delegate timing, triggering, and even personalization. But the human will lead with the trust. So you need to help your team build this authentic voice. In the age of AI, it is crucial for the differentiation, both for the salesperson, but also for the whole company. And use AI in order to guide them, to augment the sales team, but not replacing them. Like, for example, before the conversion, you can do a lot with AI. But when the conversion happened, the real person should lead the nurturing efforts, should deal with the support. We need to deal with supporting them with more context and providing them better information, better insights in order for them to be closer and building deeper relations, but not vice versa. So trust equals human. Everything else, yeah, AI augmentation will work.
Trust, it's all about the trust on the human being. And that is fantastic. We're almost done here with the questions. I have two more for you. One of them is, what are the benefits of implementing a tool like Dexago in your team?
Okay, that's pretty easy. It's the scalability and the sales coach that is one click away from your salesperson. 10 minutes before the sales call, available every time they need it. This is an immersive opportunity, very good for emerging teams who are just starting to grow, or bigger teams, but who are hiring actively and they need to onboard sales team like fast, and they need all the help, all the information one click away, and they couldn't have it before. The junior sales manager cannot contact the senior supervisor each 5 minutes they have a question. With Dextago, they don't need to. They can train, they can learn, they can be better.
Oh, yes, that is amazing. And that's one of the great benefits of implementing Dexago in your teams. If you're watching, listening to this, check it out. And now for the last question, that is something that I like to play, is a little bit of like a desert island, or let's just say, what AI tools would you save from the apocalypse? And you can only pick three.
3, no, that will not gonna fit. But of course, number one, and probably like the one that can help them all, it's ChatGPT, of course. Like that will be like number one. The next one, in addition, and I will not gonna go to 3. I will need at least 5, 6 spots, please.
No
Two
worries.
to AI. So the next will be Perplexity. Then it will be one of 3, is Apollo, Clay, Oloi for smart targeting. Because you can do messaging, but you need also to target smart in order to convert. So those one of 3 you will definitely need. And advertise. You need the message to go right away to those people. So easy influence, super cadence. Of course, our B2B, because like who can survive without them nowadays? And the last one will be Dextago, because even in apocalypses, your sales team deserve the close with confidence.
That is great. That is great. Thank you so much, Kate. I think it's been a great session for us to talk about how can marketing and sales work together with AI. It's been a pleasure to have you here. And well, see you guys next month with a more than special guest, Dexago co-founder and CEO Joanna. Thank you so much and have a good one.
Thank you, August.
Well, thank you, Kate.